What's up guys, Marco Flores here with Nerd in the Bay, and this is another King of Fighters 15 related video. What we're going to be doing is, since we saw the reveal of Team Hero, basically, we saw the trailers of Shun'ei, Miyenten-kun, and Benimaru being revealed as Team Hero, I thought it would be fun to kind of predict what the next set of teams is going to look like. This is kind of related to the teams we want to see videos, the part 1 and part 2. So if you haven't seen those, be sure to check those out. Basically just have like a speculation of what kind of teams I would like to see for King of Fighters 15. But in this video, I figured that since we saw the reveal of Team Hero, I figured we can make some predictions and see what the other teams would look like. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go to tier maker, and here's what we're going to be doing right here. So you're going to see this. This is basically from the site, let's see, tiermaker.com. You could basically make a tier list of any sort, any kinds. There's like a variety of kind of tier lists that are out there. So if you ever want to make a tier list, something like this, if you go to tiermaker.com. I'm not sponsored or anything. It's just this is where I'm at. So we're doing a tier maker basically of the predictions of the teams that we may see for King of Fighters 15. So you can see here we have Team Hero. Already have listed. Let me see really quick. Yeah, we have Team Hero here listed. So we're gonna fill out the rest of the teams, and you can see down here we have a big selection of people that we can pick. So I figure what we can do is, since the characters that we saw in the initial reveal trailer, when it was the developer speaking, and they were talking about the rosters and stuff like that. So I figured we would do some of the teams of the characters that we currently see so far. So we see like Kyo, Kusanagi, we see K-Dash, we see Mai, and we see Leona. Leona is those four basically. So we know that they are going to be consisted of teams, but we don't know whose teammates are going to be, and jump back into there. So let me see. So over here, let's go Leona. So Leona usually is with the Ikari Warriors. Let's go ahead and grab Leona out of this selection of people. There's a lot of people here. Let me just go ahead and look for her. As you can see here, I have basically each row of the character and the team that they're going to be on, and then I have below it is Shattered Expectations team. So the tagline has been saying shattered all expectations. So what I figured I would do here is, if it's going to go beyond the logical reasoning of what teams that these characters would be on, then I would put down like what a blows my mind team it would consist of. So that's why I put them there, those rows there. So starting off with Leona, that we saw in the trailers. So I think, like logically, it would usually be Ralph and Clark, the Ikari Warriors, right? So I would figure they would do that again for King of Fighters 15. So let's go ahead and put them in. So that team, pretty cut, plain and simple. Ikari Warriors, that's usually the team for Ikari Warriors. Ralph, Clark, and Leona. And before that it was Hydra. So the shattered expectations of that type of team would be interesting. It would be, let's see, so if Leona was in that team, we would put like Leona down there, for example. The shattered expectations of that team, we can go many routes. We can go the military route. We can do whip with we can do whip with let's Hydern, with like whip with Hydern. We can do let's see, who else, who's military that can be related. Where are you? I saw you guys. You guys are hiding basically. So this is a big list of characters. The videos of what teams I would like to see. I was talking about the Metal Slug team. It could be Leona with the Metal Slug characters right there. You can see 4 of them right here. They can make a team together. You can put in you put John Crawley with them for since he's part military, but at the same time he's kind of dirty too. You can do that in terms of like a shattered expectation, but for me, in order to shatter expectations in a team, I would probably put, so right here, a shattered expectation of a team would consist of, and it's kind of almost logical in a sense too, because if Metal Slug were to appear in this game, I would think that Metal Slug as a team would be as a team, right? Like, you know, Marco, Marco, Theo, and I'm forgetting the other guy's name, but I would feel like Metal Slug characters would be in a Metal Slug team. So shattered expectation is kind of almost logical still in a sense. I would think you know, Leona with Hydern, his you know, her foster dad, and then Whip, you know. But otherwise, logically, I feel like this would be the team already, you know. Ralph, Clark, and Leona. But if it was a shattered expectation, Hydern would come back, enter the tournament, and as well as Whip showing up as well. So yeah, that's Leona as kind of the team makeup that I would think that I would see for King of Fighters 15. So now let's go ahead and go down to Kyo, and Kyo is, there's been few things about Kyo, especially since the past game for 14. If you saw like the endings for 14, where, you know, Team Iori met up with Kyo, and then met up with Chizuru, and then they saw like reincarnation of Orochi. So, but they sealed that quickly at the same time before, you know, Orochi can, like, you know, come to full power. So if the next, you know, next King of Fighters is coming around, I would think logically he wouldn't be with Team Japan, since Benimaru is already on the hero team. Then Kyo would be consisting of the Sacred Treasures team, and that's a lot of people are thinking as well. So that Sacred Treasures team, if you don't know, it consists of a Sacred Treasures team regarding it comes to Kyo, Iori, and Chizuru. They were basically a historic team in terms of the families. If you don't know, like, you know, the backstory with you know, these clans. One was the sword, one was the shield, and one was the mirror, I believe. And they seal Orochi back in the past. So these three come together. If you saw the ending of 14 with Iori, this would make a logical team up. But this is interesting as well, because if we're going to shattered expectations, then okay. So the idea of a shattered expectation team would probably kind of be a wild one, because it's been talks about this, you know, recently, as these trailers are pumping out, and the next logical team would be Kyo, Shingo, and Goro, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So I feel like this is going to be the time where, I believe this was a 98 ending. So the shattered expectations of this team would be a protagonist team. Would you have Kyo Kusanagi, Terry Bogard, and Ryo Sakazaki, the protagonists of all the related games to basically the King of Fighters. So Kyo coming from King of Fighters, of course. Terry Bogard coming from the Fatal Fury universe, basically, and Ryo Sakazaki coming from the Art of Fighting world. So this would be a shattered expectations team with Kyo, Terry, and Ryo, because they're all protagonists in their own, you know, established series. And this would be a crazy team, because that's crazy powerful right there, having three basically of the best fighters in one team. But they're all alpha. They're all basically alpha leaders. So there might be some sort of tension of like who's the leader, and basically, you know, making the orders. But this would be a crazy team of Terry, Kyo, and Ryo. But logically, it feels like it would go Iori, Chizuru, and Kyo as the Sacred Treasures team. So with Mai Shiranui showing up in the trailer as well, in the initial trailer reveal. Mai Shiranui, you know, Ninja Girl, always often with a female team, has had times where she was in the Fatal Fury team. So let's go ahead and pull up what team that she would be this time around for King of Fighters 15. Alright, so the logical team of the women's team, basically, as you can see, is from King of Fighters 14. Basically, I feel like they would make a return as a women's team. We have Mai Shiranui King here, as well as Alice. I think Alice is popular enough that she would make a return. And like I was kind of delving into, like, you know, Alice myself, and I enjoy Alice's moveset, kind of being a Fatal Fury inspired moveset. So yeah, I think this would be the logical team for Mai Shiranui. So yeah, that seems to be the logical team for a women's team. Mai Shiranui, King, and Alice. I feel like they would make a return from 14. But let's consider the shattered expectations of a team who hasn't been on the women's team yet. Let me see. So as I browse through, Loveheart, there's been talks that she's not going to be coming back due to like licensing rights. Mui Mui, I believe that's her name. I think she is. I feel like she's going to come back in some form. Maybe another world team is going to come back, but without Loveheart. Let me look around. Okay, so the shattered expectations of a women's team that has yet to show up on a women's team would be Athena and B Janet with Mai. So you can just look at it like this right here, put them there, bam. I think that would be a shattered expectations team because one, Athena has never been on a women's team yet. She has been on a high school girls team, but not on a women's team. B Janet, I believe she was on Team Southtown, right? Team Southtown, maybe Team Outlaw, like that. Those sort of teams that have been a mixture of men and women, but not a full women's team. So that would be a shattered expectation of Mai, Athena, and B Janet to be on a women's team. So that is Mai. So let's see. Now we are down to K. So K Dash, it's been around since '99. The usual suspects, I would think I'm gonna put them back there as well. So here you go. K team, kind of the logical response would be K Dash, Kula Diamond, and Maxima here. So that is the expected team. Shattered expectations be interesting. I would have to look around to see who he would also team up with if you take out Maxima and Kula. So look at here. So logical team, you have your K Dash, Kula, and Maxima. Shattered expectations team, if they were able to make this the debut of Nameless from UM202, as well as K9 from the original 2002, I believe, to make a shattered expectations of a K-Dash team. There you go. You have your anti-nest there. Maybe not so much with K9, but this would be very much a interesting team makeup with, say, K with Nameless and K9. But you need someone of that moral compass and support, so that's why I figured Maxima is if K is in the game, then Maxima would have to be in the game too, to be that, you know, that moral compass. But you know, a shattered expectation would be all the K's in one team, you know. So yeah, that I feel like that would be a shattered expectation team right there. So let's go ahead and put that there. So to recap, so far we have the hero team, Akari Warriors team with shattered expectations of Hydran and Whip, Sacred Treasures team with Kyo, with Yori and Shizuru. Shattered expectations will be an all protagonist team with Terry and Ryo. Women's team, it'd be pretty much standard with King, Alice, and Mai. Shattered expectation would be Athena and B Janet on the women's team. And then so now here this is where we are now, since we again debuted the heroes team, and then we don't know what other teams are going to be out there, and we talked about, you know, the characters that we see so far, the characters that we don't see, and what we're thinking of, and speculating and expecting all those terms. So you know, going back to my teams we want to see list, really quick, I'm gonna take a look really quick just so I remember. So as you can see, I have listed down from the previous videos of the teams we want to see from part 1 and part 2. So we have the Pow Pow Cafe team of Richard Meyer or Bob Wilson that I mentioned before, taking that Capoeira spot. Franco Bash from Fatal Fury 3, and then Duck King as well, you know, known Fatal Fury games as well as King of Fighters. He entered in the King of Fighters tournament as well. Okay, as you can see, the Athena fan club team of Junhoon and Momoko, and I couldn't find Kaoru Watabe on that list of big list of characters portraits. She may be in there, but I can't find her. It's like I'm seeing there's like way too much actually. So yeah, so we have let's see, Athena fan club team, Athena, not Athena. There you go. Athena fan club team. We have the Fighters Histories team of Mizoguchi and Ray McDougal, right? And Ryoko Kano. Ryoko Kano doesn't have. I don't see a portrait of her as well. Let me see. So the Masters team, we mentioned Tung Furu or Li Pai Long with Gang Il and Takuma. So that's a Masters team returning to the King of Fighters 15. Then the Metal Slug team of you see there of Marco Rossi, Tarma Roving, and Fiolina Gurmi. So yeah, so those were the teams that we mentioned on the previous videos. So moving on. So let's go ahead and go back to let's do Fatal Fury team. So Fatal Fury team, the logical response to that, logical choice would be Terry Bogard. Just bring him back down here. Terry Bogard would be on that team. The logical choice would be Joe and Andy. I don't think they would go so far as to ignore the main three if this is going to be like their big shatter all expectations, like go big game entry. So that'd be the logical choice for Fatal Fury. Expectations shattered. I like in 11. I like the idea of Terry, Kim, and Duck King. I would love to see that come back again. But shattered my expectations. Oh shoot. Bam. Rock Lee, right? Rock Lee. Rock Howard would be on that team. Let me see. Who else would be on that team? Let me see. You know what? I think Blue Mary would fit the bill for Team Fatal Fury. A shattered expectations team of these three. Terry, Rock, and Blue Mary. That'd be pretty cool for a shattered expectations team. I mean, there's a lot of characters that are related in terms of like Southtown and knowing Terry Bogard in that sense. So, yeah, Fatal Fury team, that would probably be the logical choice here, but shatter the expectations. Hopefully Rock Howard doesn't come back as a DLC character again, but just put him in the main roster with Geese Howard, and then have Blue Mary there as well. So, yeah, that's Team Fatal Fury. Art of Fighting, it would be a toss-up between... It would be a toss-up between Yuri and Takuma, I think. So you can put that there. Where's Takuma? Right there. Right? You put Ryo, Robert, and Yuri. Ryo, Robert, and Takuma. Ryo, Takuma, and Yuri. You can do that too. But this is usually the makeup, as well as King. You can put King in there as well. But I think if, say, Takuma was almost like retired in that sense, same thing with Tung Fu Ru, then I think this would be the three. Ryo, Robert, and Yuri. Shattered my expectations, though, of an Art of Fighting team. Kyokujin team, actually, right? Let me see. Oh yeah, that's right. We were thinking about this. Let's see, where are you? So look at that. So Shattered Expectations team, maybe it would consist of Ryo, Kushun Butt, and Hayate. I'm forgetting which game that he's coming from. Not last play. But yeah, you see him in the, I believe, King of Fighters 13 Kyokujin dojo, just taking some lessons. So, and it's been, I guess it's said in the wiki as well, is like he's there from time to time taking lessons. So, yeah, that would be a pretty shattered expectations team. Like, and if you would say take out Ryo and then put him with the protagonist team, shattered expectations team, yeah, you can put like Robert with Kushun and Hayate. You can put Yuri in there as well. In terms of a shattered expectations team representing Kyokujin and the Art of Fighting. So yeah, I would think this is the logical team setup. Having Ryo, Robert, and Yuri as the logical setup, or Takuma, swap in any of the characters there. But shattered my expectations. Have Kushun Butt and Hayate as well, since they have been like, there's been a relation. You know, Kushun being in Garo Mark of the Wolves, and then Hayate, I'm really forgetting what game that he's coming from right now. But you do see him in the background taking lessons as well. So that would be the Art of Fighting team.